Thank you, Mr. DeLuca.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, President Pro Tem Ed Lewis. Thank you.
Welcome to the Massillon City Council meeting for Monday, April 19th, 2021. We have in attendance with us the following city officials. If you would do a roll call, Diane?
Mayor Kathy Catazero Perry,
Good evening.
Safety Service Director Barb Sylvester, Auditor Jane Ferraro, Chief Deputy Auditor Stephanie Myers, Law Director Justin Richard, Chief Counsel Bill Bartos,
Present.
Chief Engineer David Kroc and/or Jason Propil, and/or Greg McHugh.
All right, it's just me, Jason.
Community Development, thank you. Community Development Director Samantha Walters.
Present.
Economic Development Director David Maley.
Present.
Parks and Rec Director Pedro. Police Chief Keith Mosier. Fire Chief Heck.
Present.
Income Tax Budget Director Lori Katagides Boron. Health Department Commissioner Director Terry Argent.
Present.
Nursing Director Audrey Sylvester. Is there anyone from administration that I have missed that is on?
Hello, Diane. It's Barb Sylvester. I am on as well.
Okay, Barb, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from administration that I did not call, or that I called and is not present? That's it, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and thank you for all that are in attendance tonight. Under number 5 on the agenda, the public can speak on any item that appears on tonight's agenda. And then again, under number 17 is where the public can speak on any item that does not appear on tonight's agenda. I'd like to ask you, please, if you are not speaking, to please mute yourself so we can eliminate background noise. Thank you. Roll call.
Creamer,
Present.
Greg. Hearn Kane. I'm sorry.
Here.
Mike Greg's having technical difficulties. I think he's trying to fix it.
Okay, thank you. Lewis,
Present.
Littman,
Here.
Lombardi,
Here.
Sloots. He was here. Starrett
Here.
and Barrett.
Present.
Roll call of 7 present, but I see Councilman Hearn Kane. Well, that gives us a roll call of 9 present.
Okay.
What the heck's going on tonight?
I don't know if I have him on my, let me see if I can get him on the phone.
Oh, good news. He can hear now.
Okay. So we'll go with 9 present.
Hold on one second. I want to see if I can get Mike on. All right, I'm going to call him and see if he can get on. Hi, can I just keep you on so you can talk?
Yeah, I'll keep working on it.
All right, thank you. All right, 9 present. Councilman Sloots, if you would do the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sir, will you please stand for the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Slutz. Oh, reading of the journal. Madam Clerk, are the minutes of the previous meeting transcribed and open for public viewing?
Yes, they are.
Are there any additions or corrections to be made?
No, there are not.
Councilman Lewis, are we doing anything before we go to number 5?
Sure, we can talk about amending the agenda, or we can do that in new miscellaneous business.
Okay, I didn't know when you were planning on,
The executive session.
yes, at the end.
Yeah, I was going to say we can do that at the end.
Okay, then why don't we move on until we get to number 6? Is that
Okay.
okay? All
Yep.
right. We're at number 5 on the agenda, where the public can speak on any item that does appear on tonight's agenda. If you wish to do so, please state your name, address for the record, and topic you wish to discuss. And please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
This is Keith Nutter from Aqua, Ohio. And I know you have some legislation later, so I'll be on the call if there's any questions about the easement when you get to that part of the discussion.
Thank you, Keith. Anyone else? Okay, number 6, new and miscellaneous business. Councilman Lewis.
Yes. We have a request from the administration for, I believe it's resolution number 5, to have added to the agenda tonight for our further discussion and deliberation. I'm personally okay with making that motion. So I would move that we add resolution number 5 to the agenda for first reading this evening.
Is there a second to your amendment?
Linda Littman will second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Madam,
Yes.
Madam President, before we go further, I need verbals. No one responded to my email today. I need verbals for the request for legislation for it to be made into an ordinance to add to the agenda for tonight.
Well, the motion in the second could be used as the verbals.
Okay, so that was Ed Lewis
And Linda Littman.
and then Linda Littman.
Okay.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Well, I'm sorry, Madam President, do we want discussion in case anyone objects?
Okay. Councilman Therrett.
Yeah, thank you. I would, I don't know about putting this on the agenda tonight. I think this should go through a work session first, personally. So I wouldn't be to having this on the agenda tonight. I'd like to find out a lot more about this before we bring it to council. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilman Lombardi.
Thank you, President Eisnick. I agree with Mr. Therrett. I believe we need a lot more discussion. This should have been brought through a work session rather than just thrown onto the agenda. So I'll be opposed to that.
Councilman Hernkane.
Thank you, Madam President. I agree with Councilman Therrett and Councilman Lombardi. I would be opposed to putting it on the agenda as well.
Mr. Lewis. Madam President.
Yes. Councilman Littman.
Thank you. I would just ask that if there is someone from administration to further describe or review this request for legislation at this point, perhaps that would be appropriate. That way we are understanding what the request is for.
Mayor, did I hear you starting to talk?
Yes, I didn't want to interrupt Mrs. Littman. I'd be happy to do that. One of the reasons, Council and Madam President, that you're getting this tonight is because we found out about this on Friday, this past Friday. So what we've learned is that the House put this quickly into the budget bill and had a couple hearings on it, but nobody knew about it. I think that they learned about it maybe on Thursday and then created a meeting with the health commissioners on Friday. And that's when we learned about this. So we scrambled this morning to put together this resolution because they are going to vote tomorrow, is our understanding. And that's why we're asking for consideration this evening to eliminate our health department for cities with 50,000 population or less. Now, I hope that you all know what great work our health department does in the city of Massillon. And so, you know, especially during a pandemic, to move to eliminate. Now, of course, it needs to go on to the Senate. We've already reached out to our local representatives and spoke with them. But this really was kind of hidden in the budget, and we just learned about it. And so this is really important message to send down before the vote tomorrow, that we need our health department in here in the city of Massillon. If they would move forward and vote on this, and then the Senate would pass it, our residents would have to go to Stark County Health Department for their care. And I don't know if you know, but you know, that would eliminate our WIC program. Our people have a difficult time just traveling to Massillon to receive their benefits versus going clear to Stark County. Also, immunizations for children would have to be moved out there, and there's much savings for our families because we don't charge what a pediatric office charges, let alone having you know, a nurse and everyone right here in our community. For we do school and we do inspections for schools as well as inspections for our businesses here, our restaurants right here, and we would lose that to another to the county. And then, you know, who knows when what the turnaround time would be for those items. And we've gone through, the governor had asked us to go through the accreditation process, and our our city health department has done that during COVID. And so this is just vital that we have a health department. We would not be asking this consideration unless, you know, this just was dropped on us, and which it has been on Friday. And we've been working throughout the weekend and then all morning long to come up with a resolution for you all to consider. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. And I think Terry Argent is on the line as well.
Councilman Lombardi.
Thank you, President Eisner. Madam Mayor, I have to disagree with the timing on this because this was sponsored by Scott Olslager, and according to the State of Ohio's legislature site, was introduced on 2/17/2021.
Mr. Lombardi, this is Dave Maley. That the way the budget, it was introduced, the budget is a several month process, the state budget, and I believe it was amended. What they do is they added amendments in the finance committee. They have subcommittees that work on different sections of the budget, and then they put those amendments, et cetera, into the budget in the committee process. Tomorrow, from our understanding, is that they will be accepting amendments to the budget bill that we're speaking of in the finance committee. There should be an amendment. What we understand, there will be an amendment to try to take that language out, which we are opposing. If it's successful, then it will not be a part that will go to the floor. But if it is part of the bill and they basically can't get it out tomorrow in the finance committee, it will go to the floor on Thursday. And once it's in, having worked in the legislature for a number of years, once it's in, it'll be harder sort of to get out. We obviously do not want it in when it passes the House, because that's the version that they'll be looking at when they deal with conference committee. But that language was not in the bill, Mr. Lombardi, when it was introduced initially.
This is Terry Argent from the Health Department. The Association of Ohio Health Commissioners called an emergency meeting on Friday, and that's the first we'd heard about this. That's why it is so rushed with the vote being tomorrow. But it may have been introduced a few days earlier, but we just found out about it on Friday.
In addition, we have found out that there are members that are in opposition to this. And we do understand that there may be an amendment offered tomorrow. And that's why this is crucial to get our thoughts and feelings and sentiments sent down to Columbus so they know where we are. And speaking to our legislatures locally at the state level, they want to have this type of document if we are opposing this measure. So that's all I have. And if you still have questions, Terry's on and I'm here to answer those questions.
Councilwoman Kramer.
So I have some concern since this was sent out late this afternoon and our meeting was a few hours after. So if they're proposing, this House bill proposing to abolish health departments with citizens less than 50,000, if that's what I'm understanding, what are they proposing in replacement? This is big. I understand the magnitude of this, but if you're asking me to vote on something and I don't have all the facts in front of me, what they're proposing to replace, I understand, the WIC program, the transportation issue, but until I know what they're proposing to replace it with, I'm going to sit back on this item. If anyone can tell me what they are proposing to replace.
Well, according to Terry, please help me here, but they are not going to take that away, Mrs. Kramer. They're going to have our community go to the county health department. And so they'll give out those benefits from there, which is located at Belden Village. That is just a barrier for our community to be able to access transportation to get there. And Terry will tell you they have difficulty. They have difficulty getting to their appointments that we have, and it's just very, very important that we have a local health department. And Terry, please add any additional information.
Yes, the wording in the bill is this transferred duties and powers of the board to the board of the General Health District, which is Stark County Health Department. So Massillon wouldn't have a replacement. Everything would be absorbed by the county health department.
So would they propose like a mobile health department to go out to communities like ours for individuals that don't have transportation? I guess that's what I'm kind of trying to get a handle on. Just wiping away this benefit to the city, I do understand is very significant, but just having everybody go to the county health department is going to be overwhelming to that department. So are they proposing something else, a mobile health department to go to facilities, to go to cities that there are, wanting to abolish health departments for? I mean, that's what I guess that's the part that I don't have answers and I need to understand.
I understand that too. And in this bill, there's nothing about that, about how it's going to happen. The very end, the very last sentence of the bill is the total impacts are unknown. It does not say how these areas are going to be served.
Councilman Ferret.
Thank you. And that's the essence of my question too. Who can say that we can't have a health department in our city? That seems to be overstepping boundaries here beyond my understanding. They can just arbitrarily say, no, you're not allowed to have your own health department?
Mr. Ferret, yes, they can.
Really?
That's
yeah.
why we're opposed to it too at this point.
Councilman, whose hand was up, Lewis?
Yeah, I was just going to point out that I believe we also receive funding from the state to offset some of the cost. So one way that they can do it is just by stop funding it. Not only that, but the cities are considered a creature of the state, so we operate under their allowances.
Councilwoman Littman?
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to make a comment. I too agree that it's not the best case scenario that the legislation was, a request for legislation was brought to us last minute. However, with a House bill of this magnitude to disrupt our health and safety of our citizens, I think is horrendous. I think that we should be a little more responsive to these types of things. Again, not that this would be something that would be that would occur on a regular basis, but because this is brought to our attention of administration a little bit later than they would have liked, brought to our attention much later than we would have liked, it still doesn't take away the fact that there's going to be a vote tomorrow. And I think for municipalities of our size to not have a health department would be detrimental. And to request our citizens to go outside of our community to Stark County, I just don't think that there would be a significant number of underserved individuals. So I would ask at this point that, and we all will agree, this is not exactly how we like to have administration bring these types of requests to us. But when we're looking at losing a health department, I think it's something we need to act rather quickly on.
Councilman Ferret?
Yeah, thank you. One more question. Councilman Lewis mentioned state funding. What portion of the health department's budget is state funding and what portion is ours? Because I know we have a say so in there.
Yes, I can answer that. We do get a regular stipend from the state yearly, and that's only $8,000. Now, we have gotten a lot of money lately for COVID response, so we did get quite a bit more than that, but it's basically locally funded. So the taxpayers' money, instead of coming into Massillon and staying in Massillon, would go to North Canton, to Stark County Health Department.
Councilman Ferret?
Why doesn't that come through our budget? The money that we spend on the health department, isn't it in the city's budget?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Well, then what? They can't stop us from spending money where we want to spend it. And for $8,000, that's a minuscule fraction of what we spend on the health department each year, isn't it?
Mr. Ferret, I would have to look a little bit more detailed in the budget to recall exactly, but Ms. Argent, you can help me out a little bit. But like the WIC program, that is a federally state funded program, correct?
Yes, it is.
And you have benefits and maybe a little bit of salary that are covered by that?
Yes, that's right.
So the entire WIC program can get pulled out from underneath us. And then the $8,000. And then, other things. They could also remove our authority to be able to go into a business and check its kitchen. So if we don't have the authority granted to us by the state to check the kitchen of a restaurant, then we can't gain the revenue that we get from doing our health inspection, which
We already have that by the building code.
No, that's right. I'm sorry, the duties and powers, it says here, would go to the county.
Yes, they would withdraw our allowance to be able to do that.
It's got to be against the Constitution. I'm sorry.
Councilman Ferret? I'm sorry, Councilwoman Sterrett?
Thank you, Madam President. I think that is the point, Mr. Ferret, is why this administration is asking the vote for this resolution. to oppose this legislation because nobody wants to see that authority taken from the city. The health department is a vital part of this city, and I think we need to protect it. So I think I understand that it is something that is last minute, but I think, like Ms. Littman said it eloquently, it is not the best way for it to come forward, but it is what it is, and I think it's something we should act upon.
Councilwoman Kramer?
Yes, can administration tell me how many health departments within the state will this affect?
I can answer that, and only partially because members of Association of Ohio Health Commissioners, there's at least 25 small health departments that would be affected by this. Now, there could be more that are not members, so it could be as high as 30, but I know for sure at least there's a 25.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Madam President, may I say one more thing, please?
Yes, you can, Mayor.
We were just as frustrated, council members, as you are tonight when we received this message on Friday. So I understand your frustration, but we share that with you. We don't like to get these things on a Friday afternoon either, but we did. And we still have to address it. Even though we're frustrated, we still have to address this issue because our health department is so very important. Terry has done an outstanding job with her staff throughout this COVID pandemic. Imagine if we have a pandemic and now we don't have a health department in the city of Massillon and we have to count on the county to give us our orders. It really is vital that we continue to have a health department in this city. And so I ask that I know you're frustrated, but I ask that you please put that aside and look at the bigger picture of if we don't, they're going to think that Massillon doesn't care about the health department because they didn't hear from us. And so we have to act swiftly to be able to share our feelings with the General Assembly, specifically the House tomorrow.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councilman Lewis.
It'd be roll call vote, I guess, Madam President.
Okay, roll call.
Greg,
Yes.
Hearn Kane,
No.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
No.
Sloots,
No.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
No.
Kramer.
Yes.
For no, I've yet to amend the agenda to include resolution number 5-2021.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The agenda has been amended to include resolution number 5, 2021. We're moving into introduction of ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 77, 2021.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Massillon, Ohio, to enter into an agreement with Greatness Cafe to provide an economic and development inducement grant to fund startup costs, including build-out, equipment, etc., at the property located at 121 Lincoln Way East, Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Starrett.
First reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 77, 2021 has received first reading. Ordinance number 78, 2021.
An ordinance approving an application for assistance under Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended, including this consolidated plan and annual action plan, authorizing the execution and filing of the application and related assurances and certifications and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Starrett.
First reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 78, 2021 has received first reading. Ordinance number 79, 2021.
An ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Massillon, Ohio by rezoning certain property from B3 to general business district to I1 light industrial.
Councilwoman Starrett.
Thank you, Madam President. Just for every council member's information, this is the rezoning of the Kmart property. We were given that additional, more detailed map of the rezoning piece that is going to be, that we were waiting on. But I will just be giving this first reading tonight so we can have additional discussion. First reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 79, 2021 has received first reading. Ordinance number 80, 2021.
An ordinance granting a water line utility easement on property that is owned by the city of Massillon, Ohio, and is used as part of the Legends of Massillon Golf Course to Aqua Ohio Incorporated and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Barrett.
Thank you, Madam President. After looking at the agreement and a little bit of discussion around, and I would invite the rest of the council on this too before we say anything else, but I asked the law department, in particular Bill Bartos, to look at this agreement with Aqua Ohio and so that he can in some way assure us that we are protected from any further issues with the golf course by this plan. And I know that they have redrawn it and moved it down the fairway a little ways. But if Mr. Bartos is on and wants to share anything now on the rest of the council discussing this before we move on.
Mr. Bartos,
Yes, Madam President.
go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, no, there are a couple of, with easements and, especially utility easements of this kind, obviously you can't cover everything, but there are a number of areas where I believe that this item can be tightened up, especially given the, I guess, sensitive nature of the area that this easement is located, that being the golf course. So I'm going to take a closer look at this and propose a few edits to Aqua, and I know there's a representative of Aqua on, and I've already spoken to Jason about this, but add some additional language just to protect the city. Obviously, like I said, can't cover everything, can't think of everything, but just a couple additional provisions to make sure that, if there's a main break, if there's some, post-construction issues, maybe flesh out the term green, expand it to also cover fairway, because I believe this not only crosses greens, but also some fairways if you actually look at the overhead. Just some initial ideas for council's information, but if there's any questions, I'd be happy to discuss them.
Councilwoman Littman.
Thank you, Madam President. I know that there has been some significant, and I'll say compromise, that has occurred over this week regarding an initial design for the easement, and now there is a change in that easement. Keith Nutter from Aqua Ohio is on the call this evening. I'd like to give him the floor to further describe to us what those changes are and what his conversation was with the golf groundskeeper, as well as Carrie, the pro at the golf course. Would I be able to do so?
Yes, give me 1 second. Councilman Barrett.
Yeah, I prefer that our committee speaks first, please.
Go ahead.
Anyone not? Thank you.
Anyone from that committee want to speak?
Screamer, Slutz. Go ahead then, please, Mr. Nutter.
Yes, good evening. Yeah, my construction coordinator, Jacob, he actually went outside and met with the groundskeeper. We understood the concern of going underneath the green. So we did go farther to the north to be able to go underneath fairways. So we're not impacting the greens. The other part of this is we were trying to hurry up and get this done sooner. But talking to the groundskeeper, because where we're going to be, he has no real concerns about, getting it done by, I think we were looking for like June 4th. But because where we are, he's okay letting us, basically anytime this year, getting it done. So there's no, I understand you want to look at the easement and we'll, take under advisement, any, comments you make, so there is no, real push to get it done right now. If we need another couple weeks to work this out, we just, it's money in this year's budget, so I'd like to spend it sometime in 2021. So, it's part of, $13 million that Aqua's spending, in the communities we serve in 2021 alone. So it's a big, it's a lot of money, so we don't like to let things dangle too long before we can get them spent.
Councilman Lewis?
I was just going to say with our questions regarding the legal commitments that Mr. Therrett had Mr. Bardo speak to and Mr. Nutter's comments, instead of belaboring the point, maybe if Mr. Therrett's agreeable, we should just give it first reading and we can pick this up at our next work session.
That was my intention. And if there's no objection to the rest of the committee, that's what we'll do.
I have a question. What hole is that?
I don't know. I think it's 8, maybe.
I think it's 4 north.
4 north. Okay.
What is it?
I believe it's 4 north, if I recall information from it previously.
Thank you. 4 north. Okay, Councilman Therrett?
I just like to give this ordinance number 80, 2021 first reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 80, 2021 has received first reading. I have one more question. Once the project has begun, how long do you anticipate it taking?
Probably just a couple weeks. Maybe 3 weeks, but because we have to do some extra work that's being done on the sides before we directional drill under the fairways.
Okay. Having a league out there, whether you're going through the fairway or not, it's going to be a mess.
Well, it is on the outside. We're trying to stay on the outside of the cart paths. So, we're very close to the outside of the cart paths, trying to stay out of the way of the golfers and the groundskeeper says, they'll just make sure that people know we're working there and our guys wear hard hats to watch out for golf balls.
Thank you. You've never seen my golf. My ball was in mud. Thank you. All right, moving along, ordinance number 81, 2021.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1100 general fund for the Massillon Fire Department for the year ending December 31st, 2021, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis?
Yeah, it says this shows this is a $8,848.80 appropriation for supplies materials. It is previously expended for the purchase of a CPR equipment, and we got this from a FEMA grant. During our discussions, I'd move this forward tonight. I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 81, 2021 forward for a vote.
Seconded by?
Councilwoman Sterrett.
Roll call for suspension.
Kern Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sloots,
Yes.
Sterrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
and Greg.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Slutes,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Herm.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 81, 2021 is passed. Is this where we're going to put resolution number 5, 2021?
Yes,
That is
Madam
where-
President.
Okay, resolution number 5, 2021.
A resolution opposing the provisions contained in sub House Bill 110 that will abolish health districts in Ohio cities with populations less than 50,000.
And what committee is that in? Is that in yours, Mr. Lewis?
Committee of the Whole.
Okay, Councilman Lewis?
Given the vote that had taken place to put it on the agenda, if all votes remained the same, we would not meet the standard to suspend the rules to have a vote this evening. So unless any members of this council would like to speak to suspension, it would be pointless to even do a roll call if all votes were to stay pat as to where they were earlier. So I would open it up for discussion again as to whether or not we will be moving forward.
Councilwoman Starrett?
I mean, I guess at this point, it becomes moot tomorrow. So to suspend the rules and to vote on it would be the smartest thing to do. But that's up to council members because you either vote yes or you vote no. And then by tomorrow, this is no longer an issue.
Councilwoman Littman?
Thank you, Madam President. I guess I would just like to reiterate the ramifications of not disagreeing with House Bill. To again, look for our underserved individuals who use our health department. And I'm not even just saying about the pandemic, but in general, I think the health department does a lot for our city, for our schools, for our restaurants, for ourselves, and that we looked at our health department as a resource to go to when we are looking for the understanding of, what the pandemic ramifications were, for the restrictions that needed to be applied to our restaurants and gathering places. So again, I just would urge council members to, at this point, to overlook the mechanics of this that no one is happy with, but to look at the issue itself, and hopefully we would be a dynamic council that we can set those things aside and look at the issue itself. Thank you.
Councilman Farrett?
The issue isn't even the mechanics. It's the whole logistics of this. There's no doubt we want our health department. That's not the issue. It's just the way that this is coming about. You could call it the mechanics if you want, but still, we're going in here blind. We have no idea what the verbiage is, except for a few sentences here and there. And we haven't gotten our community to even be able to contact anybody. It just seems trying to force an issue that, as Mrs. Starrett said, may be moot tomorrow.
Councilman Lewis?
The only thing I want to point out, and I understand, yeah, there's not a lot of information available. This happened quickly at the end of last week, but this is, first off, it's a resolution. It's not an ordinance. We are not making city law. We are not directing any kind of obligation on part of the city moving forward. There's no financial implications to it. There's no hiring practices or policies or procedures that we are forcing the hand of the administration or any other department of the city. It is simply a recognition of this body saying we value our health department and we would oppose anything coming out of Columbus that would cause us to have to get rid of it. That's all it's saying. End of story. And without passing something like this, then our voice doesn't say that. And if Columbus moves forward and were to abolish our health department, the city of Massillon would not be on the record for saying that they oppose that. And by absence of showing opposition when an opportunity was presented, then it is assumed either not caring or in favor of. And that's the concern. And considering we are a community that is less than 4 years since we lost our hospital that provided medical care to our people, I would say that if you also lose your health department, that is not the direction a city wants to go. So my support for this is not over, do I have enough information or not? It's simply me saying, I want our health department. I think it has value. Columbus is talking or having a conversation that would remove that from us, and I oppose that conversation. And that's all it's saying.
Madam President, it's Mike Gregg.
Yes, go ahead, Mike. Did you raise your hand? I'm kidding.
I did. You just couldn't see.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to be on the record. I agree wholeheartedly with Mr. Lewis. I don't see the upside to not voting on this tonight. The downside is that, as he said, then we are saying that we don't care, or we just aren't going to take any initiative to save our health department. And I'm surprised that any member of council would rather that our health services be offered through the county rather than through our home department. And I know this isn't voting on whether that happens or not, but at least we're saying that we care about our health department and we want it to remain run by our own city, our own entity, and not by a greater government body, either the county nor the state. So, and as Mr. Lewis said, this is not a resolution. This is not, I'm sorry, it is a resolution. It's not an ordinance. We're not passing any law. We're not instructing the mayor or our administration to do or say anything. We're just saying we support our health department, and I can't imagine anybody not wanting to do that. Thank you.
Councilwoman Starrett.
Thank you, Madam President. I do agree with Mr. Lewis that this is merely a resolution where we are stating our opinion, and I feel some council members are more hung up on the procedural aspects of it that we did get at last minute. But we've had extensive conversation about this tonight, and I don't feel there is much of a difference between having conversation about this at a council meeting or at a work session. Honestly, we've had many constituents say to us over the years, they would prefer us to have these conversations at a council meeting prior to voting instead of at a work session, because most citizens tune into this meeting, not the work session. So what is the difference between had we had it at a work session, or we have it next week at a work session, or last week at a work session, or getting the information that we have tonight and making a decision tonight? Again, this is not something that we're guiding the city and doing anything. There's no budgetary implications, no employment implications. We are just stating an opinion. And I think it is something that we should move forward on and vote tonight. We're having these conversations as we normally would in a work session. The procedural issues, yes, it is not ideal that we get it last minute, but when we flesh these things out in a meeting, I think at some point we need to stop and say, okay, let's just look at the actual resolution before us and vote on it based on what's the content of the resolution is and what we have learned tonight, rather than, well, I don't like that we got it last minute.
Councilman Hernkane.
Thank you, Madam President. This isn't necessarily about the resolution, but it is about the health department. Was the position that we created a couple months ago filled in the health department, the new one that we created?
Yes, that was filled.
Who did you hire for that?
Anita Combs.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Madam President,
Yes, Diane.
this is your council clerk. And I'm speaking as a private citizen of the city of Massillon, Ohio.
Okay.
I could not imagine our city not having a health department. My children went through the WIC program here in the city of Massillon. I realized this was a last minute and I did the legwork, paperwork, what have you, to get this on our agenda or to amend our agenda to get this on tonight. But I could not imagine the city of Massillon, Ohio without a health department. And so I urge my council members to consider the city of Massillon without a health department. I recently had a death in the family, and it was convenient to go to the Massillon City Health Department to obtain a death certificate instead of having to go to Canton, to Belden Village to obtain a death certificate. 2 years ago, I had to obtain a birth certificate for my son. It was convenient to go to the Massillon City Health Department to obtain that birth certificate. So as a private citizen of the city of Massillon, I urge my council members to uphold and stand by our Massillon Health Department. Do you realize how many children that will be affected by this change of administration through the state of Ohio? There are people that they can't even get to the Massillon department by bus. Can you imagine them trying to get to the health department by bus in Belden Village? So I'm stripping the title of clerk of council from my name, and I'm just speaking as a private citizen of the city of Massillon, Ohio, where I pay taxes, to consider at a last minute notice to keep the health department of the city of Massillon in the city of Massillon. Thank you.
Anyone else on council? Councilman Lewis?
I make a motion, we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing resolution number 5, 2021 forward for a vote.
Seconded by
Councilman Gregg,
roll call for suspension.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Slutes,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
yes.
Hearn Kane,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Slutes,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hearn Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Littman.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 5, 2021 has passed. Number 8, is there any unfinished business?
Yes, my copier.
What do you need to get to proceed with
You gave me an email today after I sent you the information from Copico, and you said go for it. So I'm going to do that tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone have any questions on that? Okay. Petitions and general communications.
Yes, we have a request for an economic transfer, TREX, of a liquor license from Magoo Properties LLC, doing business at the Shops of Wagram Center, located at 12990-98 National Road Southwest, Etna Township, to Pataskala, Ohio, 43062, to Ventura Communications Incorporated, located at 45 First Street Northwest, Massillon, Ohio, 44647. permit classes are D1 and D2 and is located in Ward 2.
Did the ward councilman receive this?
He did, and he has just one small question.
Go ahead.
I am going to assume that it's not actually the Ventura Communications. It's probably the Margarita Bar or whatever it is today. I can't imagine they're going to be drinking and dancing in the cell phone store.
Councilman Therrett, it's going to be the Print Bar down where TIG Catering used to be.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Anyone else? Thank you. Are there any bills, accounts, and claims?
No, there are not.
Reports from city officials.
Yes, we have the treasurer's report for March of 2021 and the auditor's report for March of 2021.
Councilman Lewis,
I make a motion that we accept the auditor's report.
seconded by,
Councilwoman Starrett.
roll call.
Slutes,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
and Lombardi.
Yes.
9 yes to accept the auditor's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The auditor's report has been accepted. Number 12, reports of committees. Our next work session will be next Monday, April 26th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. in council chambers? Question mark?
Hopefully.
Okay. Resolutions and request of council members. Does anyone have anything? Okay.
Madam President,
Yeah,
did you want me to give my report?
sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to tell council one great thing today is that the ODOT approved the punch list today, and all items needed to be addressed have been addressed and approved. We will be soon coming out to place the furniture and new trash receptacles and benches. And we also are getting proposals for the cleanup of our landscape. So that is very exciting. Also an update on the Duncan Plaza. We just announced today that we are putting out a donation initiative to tribute a loved one from our families in Massillon. You can honor a loved one with a lasting memorial or recognize a loved one or family. A donation of $1,500 or more will be acknowledged by a tree in Duncan Plaza and a plaque personalized with the loved one's name and or family name. We have 21 trees available on a first come, first served basis, and a donation of $700 or more will be acknowledged by a hydrangea and a plaque personalized with the loved one's name and or family name. And we have 9 hydrangeas available on a first come basis. All donations will be used for future projects for the downtown. So that was announced today. The Independent did speak with our safety and service director and look for the article to come out. But we also have the forms ready as well if there's anyone that would like to make a donation. Next, we did a groundbreaking ceremony for the Parade of Homes in Augusta Lakes. We'll be having 5 homes in the Parade of Homes this year, and Steve Smith and 2 other builders are building homes. I think all of them are sold, but one. But we're excited to have the Parade of Homes, and working with the builders industry has been amazing as well. So look for that this July. Our sidewalk program, we are up to contracts on $49,000. And we still have through the end of April to accept contracts. So please encourage your immediate constituents in your area, and I know there are 3 at large, so anyone in the city to apply for this program. Our catch basin vacuum truck has been delivered and 5 of our employees have been trained on it. Mass Trucking, the property that they purchased, transferred on Friday. Of course, everybody saw the Chloe's Diner article in the Independent, so that's exciting. Sometime in May, that's going to open up. So we encourage you to go visit. And then finally on Friday, Patrolman Wood and his K9 Loki passed their state certification, and they were on the road today. And they were trained through the Van Ness K9 Academy. And that's my report for you.
Thank you, Mayor. Does anyone have any questions for the mayor? Thank you very much. Call of the calendar, seeing nothing, no third reading ordinances, second reading ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 69, 2021.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Massillon, Ohio, to enter into an agreement with Kimberly Company Salon and Boutique to provide an economic development inducement grant to fund expansion costs, including build-out, equipment, etc., at the property located at 921 Lincoln Way East, Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Starrett.
Thank you, Madam President. This is for an economic inducement grant for Kimberly and Company Salon for $3,000. Is there any conversation or comment tonight? Seeing none, I'd make a motion that we waive the rules requiring 3 readings and bring ordinance number 69-2021 forward for a vote.
Roll call.
Lewis, seconds.
Lewis. Thank you. Roll call for suspension.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hearn Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
and Slutes.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Starrett,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hearn Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Slutes,
Yes.
and Starrett.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 69, 2021 is passed. Ordinance number 70, 2021.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Massillon, Ohio, to enter into an agreement with Chloe's Diner to provide an economic development inducement grant to fund startup costs, including build-out, equipment, etc., at the property located at 112 First Street Northeast, Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Starrett.
Thank you, Madam President. This economic inducement grant is for $15,000 to Chloe's Diner. Is there any comments or questions tonight?
Councilman Starrett.
Thank you, Madam President. As I stopped by, it looks like this is really going to be another jewel in that downtown area. And hopefully he stays on schedule with this improvement there. And I can't wait to try it out myself. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilwoman Starrett.
Seeing none, I'd make a motion that we waive the rules requiring 3 readings and bring ordinance number 70-2021 forward for a vote.
Seconded by.
Lewis.
Roll call for suspension.
Kramer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hearn Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Slutes,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
and Barrett.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hearn Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Slutes,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
I'm yes, all passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 70, 2021 is passed. Ordinance number 17 on the agenda, where anyone from the the citizens can speak on any topic that did not appear on tonight's agenda. If you wish to do so, please state your name, address, topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Yale J. DeLuca, 2954 Veterans Boulevard, Southeast Massillon, over here at the Legends of Massillon. Hi, Madam President. Diane Rowland, I appreciate you saying that as a citizen, and I appreciate President Pro Tem Ed Lewis on this subject of the Stark County Health Department. I don't know what's going on here, folks. I really don't. First, we lose the hospital. Then we have a police department that wants to do rank and file, cut our patrolling off. Now, listen, the Stark County Health Department, it's combined general health care. It's the 9th largest district here in our state, and it serves the needs of 250,000 people. Think about what I'm saying, 250,000 people. Now, that jurisdiction, the Stark County Health Department, is that of 17 townships, 13 villages. It's got Louisville, my goodness, North Canton, Canal Fulton. Now you want to put Massillon on there. Okay, now I'm going to tell you something. I, too, have a story that I dealt with Terry Argent and her staff. My mom and dad had the coronavirus, COVID-19. To make a long story short, they were great working. They made a great recovery, and they were with us every step of the way. I have a letter here that Terry Argent, I picked it up on some people here. March 30th, 2020. Dear Massillon City businesses and residents, from Terry Argent, our health commissioner here in Massillon, Ohio, over the Tremont. And Terry states, I would like to thank all the Massillon businesses and residents that have complied with the Ohio Department of Health stay-at-home order. That was back then, okay? And all our residents for your hearing. She did a lot there, her and her staff. They're absolutely awesome. I wonder how the health commissioner, Kirkland Norris at the Stark County Health Department, feels about this, folks. Let me tell you something. Do you want to eat at a restaurant here in Massillon, Ohio? Now think about it. A lot of people, I see them every day, eat at Massillon, they eat out. I eat out every day. That the Stark County Health Department couldn't get to because, I mean, they're going to be bombarded. We don't have that now with Terry Argent and her staff. I'm adamantly opposed to this, and I want everybody to get in action and to take care of this. The city of Massillon without a Massillon Health Department, I can't imagine that. My goodness, folks, we're the championship. The other day I went to Walmart to pay a car payment, and they moved the money thing to the customer service. I went there, and there was one Walmart associate. I'm not down on Walmart. I love Walmart. I used to be a general manager at Kmart. I'm not down on Walmart. But I'm thinking to myself, and I'm hearing this today, what's going to happen here? We got one people, they lined up at 20. We can't do our health department like this either as well. So I want to thank Terry Argent and our Massillon Health Department. I want to thank the mayor for speaking out with it and her staff. And my gosh, we cannot do away with the Stark County Health Department. What is Columbus? If they want to work on some legislation in Columbus, I'll tell you what. We have litter on all our streets and highways. It costs the ODOT people, not the inmates. We have ODOT doing it. They could be fixing our roads in Massillon. Maybe these legislators need to get their butt on these roads and fix them instead of having sneaky legislation like tomorrow. Thank you, Madam President. And I want to thank the mayor because the mayor is adamantly for it too. And I want to thank Terry Argent and her staff. She's great. We love you in Massillon. I need everybody in Massillon to get behind this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeLuca. Anyone else? Hearing none. Councilman Lewis.
Yes, hold on. Technical difficulties. I'd like to make a motion that in accordance with Division G3 of Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code, that we move into executive session to include all members of council, including the president of council, the clerk of council, the mayor, the director of public service and safety, economic development director, chief counsel Bill Bartos, for the purpose of conferencing with the chief counsel Bartos to discuss pending court action.
Seconded by
Councilwoman Littman.
roll call.
Hearn Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sloots,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
and Greg.
Yes.
9 yes to exit into executive session.
And Diane, how are we going to do this? Do we just stay on?
No, I have to go in and do a breakout session. Okay. And I am going to include Large Hernkane, Barb Sylvester, Council President David Maley, Ed Lewis, Amy Sloots, Phil Creamer, Tim Barrett, the mayor, Linda Littman, Mark Lombardi, Megan Starrett, and I believe that is all of us.
Diane, Bill Bartos.
Okay,
And it's Mike Gregg. I didn't hear my name.
okay. The council. And let's go back. That's not working. Bill, it might be under William. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So are we exiting this?
The ones that I have select will be, but the public will still be online. Give me a minute.
Bill, are you a caller?
Yes, I called in.
Okay.
Can you keep so we can identify you?
Yeah, sure. Can you?
I have
tell
caller
who
number
I am
3. I have calling user 3 and calling user 4.
I believe when he speaks,
And he's
four
number
lights up.
4.
Number 4? Okay. Call in. User 4. And who else is there anyone I'm missing?
Madam President, it looks like you'll need to keep
Oh,
me on
Mike Gregg.
Absolutely, Mike.
Are you calling user 3?
I don't think so. I think I'm coming in.
I'm not seeing your name show up.
He's on my phone.
Oh, shoot.
So just invite Claudette and then he'll come with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Me and my shadow.
Call in user 4.
So we don't hang up, right?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
And enter. Add. And boom. Claudette. Claudette. Okay, there you go. That includes Mike. Okay. We should have 9 people in. I've got to get Bill in here.
So if names are still on the screen, does that mean they're in the meeting?
Well, we're in a breakout session.
So once she clicks the breakout session, we'll all get a warning that we're being moved. And then
Right.
we'll all be moved. So right now, there's only one caller left. That's Bill Bartos.
Right.
Who's William D?
Citizen attending.
Okay. I see my Greg's name now.
Yeah, but I'm still frozen.
Okay,
Just keep them with you.
okay.
Okay, let's see. And Bill was what?
He's the only caller left. Caller 4.
Caller 4. And I'm not getting him. He's not coming in.
Bill can call me, Bill. Just call me.
That'll work. That'll work.
Oh, he'll come with me.
Okay.
Didn't you have someone on the phone from before?
I kicked Jamie off. I said, get your own line.
Yeah, Jamie's got his own now.
All right. I don't see Diane's name up there anywhere.
We haven't moved yet. Diane moved, but we didn't.
Okay. I hate this. Just want you to know, in case I didn't say it tonight, I hate this.
Mr. Bartos, can this wait another week until we have a work session in person?
I mean, it can, yeah. I mean, there hasn't been any,
You're on public session right now, Mr. Bartos, just so you know.
I mean, I think that there hasn't been any, I mean, I would say that there are some issues that do need to be discussed, though, that are worth briefing council on. So I would say, you know, if it's, I would say it would be beneficial if we could discuss it tonight. But if it's, you know, not entirely possible, then you know, it could go for a week. But I think it behooves us to discuss it this week, I would say.
So is anyone in contact with Diane? You said we'll see something when she moves us?
It looks like Diane moved and none of us did.
Okay.
That's
My
what she's
phone's
on.
being used. Can somebody call her?
Mr. Lombardi, can you call her since you have her number?
Sure. He's not answering.
But Ed, if you need to disconnect me and then call me back, that's fine.
You think she'll
Diane,
answer? Diane, can you hear us?
No, she can't.
All right, Mike, I'll call you right back.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I left her a message, but she did not answer.
Please leave your message for. Is she at Council Chambers? Or is she at home? Mark, do you know?
I imagine she would be at home because I had told her last week that we wouldn't be able to have it functioning tonight.
Okay.
President, I think.
Hi, Diane, what's going on?
I don't know. I'm trying to get into the meeting. I got breakout session coming up. This is such a pain in the butt.
You're on speakerphone, behave.
Okay, sorry. Are we not in a breakout session?
Well, you're not on the screen anymore, and Ed said that we'd get a message if we were moved to the breakout session. Did you move us?
Yeah.
I don't think you did. Just, you see any of us?
It
No,
looks
because
like
there's still somebody else on there that shouldn't be in the breakout.
at this point, President Eisnick, unless anyone else opposes, I'd say that we just rescind the motion to go to executive session. We end this meeting. If the law department really needs to, we can call a special for like Wednesday and just have this executive session only. And now give time to figure out how to break out. Or by that time, we might be able to just come down to chambers and meet or something.
Yeah,
Or
because
wait till
I
Monday.
did a breakout session. I put all the participants in.
Because we're going to be here for a while trying to figure this out, and it may or may not work. So just for the integrity of the meeting and everything, it's probably best just to say technical difficulties, we couldn't do it, and just end it.
All right, I guess join our meeting again, Diane.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
I think we're going to rescind the executive session motion as soon as Diane gets back on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
I don't see you.
Well, you're not, I don't have my camera on.
No, I see your name. Okay. Councilman Lewis.
Due to technical difficulties, I am rescinding my motion to go into executive session, and we will re-motion it at our next meeting.
Seconded by?
Littman,
Roll call?
Lewis,
Yes?
Littman,
yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sloot,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Egg,
Yes.
and Singh.
Yes.
9 yes to rescind executive session.
Thank you. We are back in regular session. Do we need a motion for that?
No, we already got that.
Councilman Salutes,
I would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
seconded by?
Littman,
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So someone will let us know when we're meeting again?
Well, next Monday, unless something else happens.
Perfect. Thank you. See you down at council next Monday. Ha ha.
Hopefully.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Claudette.